Hi crafters, it's Kathy from Scrap and Bean coming to you today with Try It Tuesday. And today I'm going to give you the pattern to make these little Halloween treats. Easy, quick, and fun. So you start with a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Cut it into strips that are 3 inches wide. So you'll get several strips out of one sheet. And then cut it to 8.5. I believe that was 8.5 inches wide. Yes. So this is the full width of your 8.5 inch sheet of paper. And then we're cutting it 3 inches wide. So you'll get 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches. You'll get several out of a sheet. And then we're going to score it. Which just means, if you haven't done scoring, it just means putting these folds into it. So I have here Score Pal, but any kind of scoring tool that you have is going to work. I got that where you can see it. And I've written on here so that you can see where I'm going to score it at. So this is at the 3.5 mark. So right here, I would score it. The 4.5 mark and the 8-inch mark. So you're going to have 3 score lines in it. Like this. 3.5, 4.5, and 8. That's measuring from this end. So from the end, you're measuring 3.5. From the same end, you're measuring 4.5. From the same end, you're measuring 8. So that gives you 3 measurements, right? 3 creases, 3.5, 4.5, and 8 inches. And then you're just going to score it good on those. And what I have found is it fits a candy bar, or a lot of these actually. A lot of these mini candy bars that you buy fit in there just nicely. All right, the Smarty Box. This one's a little bit wider, the Kit Kat, so I've been just putting it at an angle a little bit. And how I get them to stay in there is with a... Where did my little dots? These little glue dots. So they come in a roll on a box, or you can get them a sheet. These, yeah, I don't know if you can see on here. Each one of these, it's like a perforated grid, and in each little square like this, it's got just a tiny little glue dot on it. And if I put that glue dot just onto the bottom of, this case, the Smarty Box, or if you put them on the bottom of your candy bar, now you have this little glue spot there, and it'll just stick. Well, it's supposed to just stick. It was working. It'll stick right on there, and just hold it inside your treat box. So that works good for you. And if it doesn't stick, well, then you just need to eat the chocolate. Try a different box that sticks. Okay, so that's the scoring. So once you have, one that I haven't decorated yet. Well, maybe I've decorated most of them. Okay, so here I have some, all different colors, because you know what? This is a great way to use up any cardstock you have that's kind of Halloween colors, but maybe you're not... you know, it's been sitting around, you're not using it, so use it up for a project like this where you're going to need lots, right, for candy handouts. So, and then I just decorated them. So I took my favorite Halloween stamp set. Well, the one I happen to have is this Tim Holtz one. So it has lots of different images on it. And you could just pull out whatever Halloween stamp set you've got. It's going to work for you. I cut little pieces of white cardstock, or in this case I used orange, green, beige, whatever. It's a good way to use up your scraps for cardstock too. And I just stamped a whole bunch of each of these different images onto a little piece that's 2.5 by 2.5. But this basically, you just cut out whatever size cardstock fits on that your image is going to fit onto. And then I glued it onto the front here. But before that, I mean, you can color this in, but we want to add some color. So what I did, if I'm going to do like 50 or 100 of these, I need it to be fast coloring, right? So here's what I did. I pulled out this embossing glaze, and I'm actually using the same colors that I used in the last Try It Tuesday video where I used glazes for fall colors. And I'm just repeating those same ones. I'm pulling them out for Halloween. Especially this green. I like that for a Halloween color. And here's what I did to add a pop of color really quick. So when you're doing lots of these, right? Check out how fast this goes. So I have my image stamped. Make sure I got that on camera. Then I just take my Emboss It dauber and I'm just scribbling. I'm just doing like zigzag. So hopefully you can see on here. So I just push down the top and I go to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left till I run out of paper. And you won't be able to see it on there because it's just clear, but you will see when I put my embossing glaze on here. And you can see where it's stuck in this little zigzag pattern. And that's just going to add some really quick color. So, let me see. I better put this back in the jar before I start heating stuff up, or I could have embossing glaze all over the place. Okay, so here we have our image ready with the powder on it. And just that quick, I've got some color. So here's some other ones where I've just done that same zigzaggy, some yellows, some other greens. It's just a quick way to add a little pop of something on there. Some of these I've done just taken a felt marker and put a little stitch design around them, just some little doodling. Here, this one I'll just take with some black ink on there. Just put a little black edge on it. So just a quick way to finish it off. And then we can glue that right onto what's going to be our front. So this is how the design is going to go, that way. So I'm going to glue this on here. You can glue it on the middle, you can glue it off to the side. Here's one where I've done it off to the side. And then I added this spider, which I really quite like. So we'll put this one on here. Just with a little bit of this very strong adhesive, so you don't need very much of it. And I think what I'm going to do is just really off to the side here and to the bottom. And then I'll take this spider. So I have this, actually it also happens to be a Tim Holtz. The spiderweb die, and it's got this really cool spider on there too. So I just die cut a whole bunch of those with black cardstock. And if I have it just kind of off to the side here, maybe. And I do have spiders cut out too. So that'd be kind of fun to decorate. So I'm just going to take some liquid glue. This is one that dries clear. And I'll put a little bit up there, and if you're strategic about how you put this spider web on there, you can actually use it for a couple of different. So I'm just going to use the corner of it on there, and then I can put a piece of this on the next one as well. So there's my little guy. If I put a dot here, well, that's a pretty big dot, Kathy. And I could have my spider hanging down there. Keep in mind this glue dries clear, so it's not going to be as messy as what it looks at the moment. So we got a spider, if you'll cooperate with me. There you go. Now for this part, oh, I need my candy in there. And my little, does anybody see my glue dots? I don't see them anymore. Okay, so, oh, I do see it. Here we go. So here's my glue dot. I'll put it, oh, that one didn't even have a dot on it. Next one. So here's my glue dot, and just going to put that on the bottom of our candy. Glue it to the bottom here. And then with all this glue that I have on the top of my image, I can actually just fold this over and it's going to glue it right shut. And there you go. We got a little candy pocket. Now the other thing that you can do is punch holes in here and put some ribbon. Like here I punched 2 holes, put a piece of ribbon through it, and we've got this nice variegated yellow and orange ribbon at our Edmonton store. This one I punched just 1 hole and ran some black tulle through it. Super inexpensive way to add a little pop of something on there. This one I put quite a thick piece of tulle on it. And this one you can see I left the spider web just hanging off there. That's kind of a fun look too. This one I didn't put any spider web on, and the whole thing is green, so I actually took my dauber and went over the whole thing and then sprinkled the embossing glaze, the green one, which is actually called peeled paint, over top of the whole thing. The nice thing about these embossing glazes that I really am enjoying about them is that you can see right through them. They're translucent, so you can obviously see your stamped image right through it, where most embossing powders are opaque, and therefore you would just blot out your image and wouldn't see it at all, but it works really well for this. So this is a quick way to just give a pop of color to it. So a couple different tops. As we said, we got the ribbon, we got the tulle. You can just leave it plain glued, so however you like. So a quick way to add some fun to your Halloween treats. I'll just put one together, another one together, if I can find my supplies. My goodness. I've got too many things out on my work table here. Including a cat is on my work table. So there's another one just glued on, and here's this spider web. Maybe we'll just cut it this way. And glue that on. And you can decide if you want the spider on there or not. So this is just a quick fun way to add on there whatever you like to embellish it super fast. So you can make actually quite a few of these. Should we do another color? Let's just real quick see what color did I do. Was I doing yellows? So maybe we'll just do a green one. So again, here's how fast I do it. Embossing dauber. Just do a little zigzag pattern, or however you like to do it. There's no... The idea is that I'm not taking time to color it in or be exact. I'm just using that tool to pop some color onto my image. And there we go. Now, when I'm doing these not on video, I would do a whole bunch of these at the same time, right? I kind of go assembly line. So like, here's another one. Here's another one. So you can see how quickly these go. And when you put your dauber on, you do need to get your powder on there while that is still wet. It's not an emergency, but it's just you want to get it on there while it's wet. But then once you have the powder on there, you don't have to rush to heat it. It's going to stick. So I prep a whole bunch and then I can heat a whole bunch. That way I can kind of do the step, all the ones I'm going to do with green, and then I can put my green away. And then it's more like assembly line, so it goes real fast. You get some results. So it's not like you have to dump your powder back in the jar after every single one that you've done. That's not the case, but the trick is just use these daubers. They're so handy, so fast. And here comes another guy. And then you just heat up all the rest of them, and there you go. You've got, oh, it went right off camera. So I hope you give that a try and come up with some creative little treat packs for your trick-or-treaters.